Mage, Priest, and Hunter. Alright, let's go with Hunter. So this will be like a Hunter drafting guide. Here, we have a choice between Stalemaster, Coda Rider. Feign Death is never really that good, like ever. Never has been, never, probably will never be a good pick in Arena. Coda Rider. A lot of value associated with this card, but Hunter's win condition is more through tempo. Coda Rider is a really high value card which takes usually combo down turn 8 with the hero power. So an 8 mana 3/5/3/5 usually won't help a Hunter win. Hunter would rather pick direct damage or maybe something that's stronger just pure stats wise that you can play before turn 8. So here we'll take the Stalemaster. Here the choice would be between Cobra Shot and Animal Companion, and Cobra Shot is the kind of card that we were talking about with Hunter's late game. Usually control hunters don't work out in Arena, and what you want is direct damage, so Cobra Shot is good for controlling the board a little bit more in the late game, but also pushing in face damage, because around turn 5, 6, 7 is where you kind of disregard the board and start pushing in face. But here the easy pick is Animal Companion, just for the high quality of the card. Zombie Chow, best card, one of the best cards in the game, easy. We should take it here. I'll talk a little bit about Mad Bomber and Matter Bomber and Youthful Brewmaster, Ancient Brewmaster. Those kind of cards work really bad in like aggro control or like early board control kind of decks, and that's the kind of deck that you want to make with Hunter. They work bad because if you're controlling the board and you play like a bomber, you're gonna end up bombing your own minions, and usually that's the case. You end up bombing your own stuff. And that's the same thing with Youthful Brew and Ancient Brew. Very often you would rather not bounce something back because it slows down your board development. But good thing we had Zombie Chow there, so we don't have to pick a Mad Bomber. Here, Clockwork Gnome versus Archmage versus North Korean Kraken. So we thought the Coda Rider was bad because it was too late game, too slow of a play. North Korean Kraken is kind of like that. It's a little bit better since it comes in 2 parts. It has the battle cry and the body. I think it's okay, but here you could even consider the Clockwork Gnome over the North Korean Kraken to make it a slightly faster deck. Really depends on what you think will work out better. I think here the Kraken is a little bit too good, so I will take it over Clockwork Gnome. Valdir Raider versus Cobra Shot. Once again, this is a very slow control card. This is more direct damage. Our deck isn't necessarily like a aggressive deck. Maybe we don't want to take Cobra Shot because that kind of this is the card that'll make our deck more suited for only aggro. But Valdir Raider could be okay in aggro if we need a little bit more of a push with more minions to develop. But at the same time, this is also good in control. I think here maybe still want to go with the Valdir. It's really rough trying to pick cards that are maybe equally good in different archetypes of Hunter early on. So there, we're not sure if our deck is fast enough to support a Cobra Shot. Is what I'm trying to say. Bone Guard, pretty easy pick. Kill Command, I'll take it over those two. Have 1 beast. Pit Fighter versus King's Alec. So if you're trying to make like a aggressive Hunter deck, you want to make sure you fill up your 2 slot. King's Alec is a good 2-drop to do that with. So we'll do that here. And at the same time, because you want less late game, you got to be really picky about your late game that you do choose. Because like ideally for a really fast Hunter deck, you'd have like 2 or 3 1-drops, maybe 7 2-drops, 5 3-drops, 6 4-drops, and then maybe like 3 late game cards, which are like 5+ cost cards. But that's only if we're playing like a very fast Hunter deck. There are other like combinations of like curve that you could possibly have with Hunter. Something like a 5-5-5 and then 5 late game, or a little bit more late game. But what I've noticed with drafting Hunter in Arena is it's very unreliable if you don't control board early. So it's very important to get that much 1 and 2 drops and 3 drops and make sure they're high quality cards so you don't lose board control. Explosive Shot versus Knife Juggler. I'm gonna go with the Explosive Shot. Very often you'll find that if you have a low curve, you want expensive removal, high impact removal. That way, with the board control you already have, you keep controlling board even in the late game, and you push face damage out. So most likely we'll be using Explosive Shot on a board where we already have a couple of guys developed, maybe like a 3-2 or something, or like a 3-2 and a 2-3, or like just, you know, just like a couple of guys, and we protect them, and we also push in the face damage on that same turn that we Explosive Shot. So it's not like we're trading turns, right? We Explosive Shot a Silverhand Knight, but at the same time when we do that, we're pushing in like 6 or 7 damage that turn, and we're forcing our opponent to have answers. So low curve, expensive spells is usually the way to go. So we want more 2-drops, but we have 2 3-2s already. And the problem that Hunter has is that if we get hit by something like a Shielded Mini, we want to be able to recover. Recovery tools are for like really strong early game starts from our opponents is strong 3-drops is what we're looking for, or something like a Glavezuka, or we need to pick up more 2-3s. So we don't have really strong 3-drops, and we don't have a Glavezuka, so we probably want to pick up more 2-3s because they're better for handling the early game situations. We're not going to get hit by like a turn 1 Warming Infiltrator that trades up for our 3-2 or a Shielded Mini. So I think North Korean Kraken is fine here. So here's the 2-3. We'll take that there. Neutron, pretty good with just kind of determining how the board trades. I think it's fine there. Unleash versus Jungle Panther versus Houndmaster. We do have Animal Companion and King Zealot. It's not a lot of beasts. Right now the pick is really between Unleash the Hounds and Houndmaster. I think because we have 2 North Korean Krakens, we can kind of like pull back on the board, and we're not like full on like tempo zoo. Like we're not trying to like, you know, maximize playing something on board with every single point of mana every turn. There are turns where we just like kind of slow down and try to reset the board. So I think Unleash is probably the better pick here. And that's due to our kind of like slowish curve. Savannah Highmane, pretty easy pick. Not going to really talk about that one too much. If you see Savannah Highmane, you pick Savannah Highmane. And this kind of goes along with cards that are good in both archetypes of Hunter. Like you can imagine Savannah Highmane being a decent option in like a very fast Hunter, and also in a control Hunter, right? In a very fast Hunter, you want something that'll push in damage, and Savannah Highmane is hard to remove because of Death Rattle, and it will do that. And in a control Hunter, you want something that gets you value, and Savannah Highmane, because of the powerful Death Rattle and the just the card stats, it will get you value. So some cards are just good in both respects, and North Korean Kraken is kind of like that. Not as good as Savannah Highmane, but you can kind of see why some cards are very easy to think about as auto picks. So Worgen Infiltrator, we want to pick up more 1s, get more quality 3s. Razorfen Hunter is okay. It does create a beast for us for a kill command, but we probably want more early game. So here I was looking at I'm seeing a problem with our curve. We definitely need 4s. Here Flame Juggler is also an option, but Platter Shredder is probably the better card regardless of our lack of 4s. Take it here. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 late game. 1, 1, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2s, 2 1s. So I'm gonna say that we need like ideally 4 or 5 more 4-drops, and maybe 1 or 2 more 3-drops, and maybe 1 more 2. And that would be the perfect curve. So here, this is none of that. So what we do here is we just take the best card. I think Ravenhold Assassin is fine. I don't think we have too much late game, but we are definitely getting to that point. Here, Abusive is fine. We'll take it here over these two. Definitely don't want a Core Hound. We already have our late game that we do want. Flame Juggler, excellent card. a lot better in classes like Hunter, Priest, and Warrior because your opponent can't really play around pings, so it tends to get more value, and also it tends to save your ass a lot more if it hits like a 2-3, right? You hits a 2-3, it sets your opponent's 2-3 at a 2-2, and now the opponent mage can't just kill yours for free with their hero power. Haunted Creeper. We do need 4s, but I think Haunted Creeper is such a good card in Hunter because it sticks on the board and people don't want to remove it, so it's a beast. It triggers Kill Command, also triggers Houndmaster, and sticks on the board as a ping, which we just talked about being really good. So we'll take it. Razorfen Hunter versus Gurubashi versus Iron Beak Owl. I think Razorfen Hunter is fine. We could pick up more. We need to pick up more 3s, so it's an okay pick. And once again, it is a beast. The 1/1 that it summons is a beast, so we can use that to our advantage. Sorry, you see Glaive Zuka and you pick Glaive Zuka. That's pretty much how that works right there. Senjin, easy pick. We talked about the pandas being bad in fast decks. Silverhand Regent versus Ice Rager versus Explosive Trap. I get a lot of questions about Ice Rager, and pretty much how Ice Rager works is it's a good way to trade up. It preemptively sets up your board to kill a 4-drop like a Yeti or a Senjin. But this advantage is also a disadvantage because when you're not controlling the board with Ice Rager and your opponent already has a 2-drop or a 3-drop in play and you can't remove it, then what you're doing is you're trading down. You're trading down. So it's this is one of the cards that really depends on your draft. Your draft determines how good someone like Ice Rager would be. So looking at our deck, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2-drops, 3 1-drops, and Glaive Zuka Quick Shot in the early game to protect Ice Rager. So in this deck, I would say that Ice Rager will be protected and it will be able to trade up. So I think it's fine, and I think it's pretty good. Lord of the Arena, hey, that's me. Let's take it. Now the other 2 were terrible. You don't really want those cards. Unleash, we talked about that. That's pretty good. Steam Weedle Sniper, give us some flexibility with what we can shoot down. Versus Snake Trap. I do like Snake Trap and Steam Weedle Sniper. Both of these cards have a pretty high win rate according to Hearth Arena. And you can honestly tell why is what classes like Warrior and Priest and Hunter, and I guess we can like put Warlock in there too. What they really lack is just flexibility to do small points of damage. It's hard for them to get on board, so when they're confronted with a situation where they have like a 6/1 enemy minion, they tend to give up cards for that. And having just a bunch of 1/1s or having the flexibility to ping something is extremely valuable, even more so to those classes because they will be put in those situations by their opponents because their opponents know that it's very hard for these classes to deal with those situations. So that's why these cards are good. Which one is better in this deck? It is a 2/3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have a good mix of 3 2s and 2 3s, but we only have 2 2 3s, so a little bit more 3 2s. So I guess we just go with Steam Weedle. Yeah. So this deck, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 late game cards, 2 4-drops, 3, 4 3-drops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2-drops, 3 1-drops, somewhat like an ideal curve. The only bad part about this deck is the 4 slot. If we had more 4s, it would be a lot better. We wanted somewhere between like 4, 5, and 6 4-drops, but the curve for everything else seems fine. The card quality is slightly above average even. It's a little bit slow. It's a little bit slow under deck, and that's what we tried to avoid. But we did take the North Korean Krakens, and we'll see how those do. And if it doesn't go well, then we'll kind of adjust and be like, okay, even though North Korean Kraken's a good card, it's maybe bad in Hunter. Got to keep our eye on that. And in terms of like spells and utilities and weapons, we have Glaive Zuka, Quick Shot, Double Unleash, Kill Command, and Explosive Shot. So we have the potential to make a comeback if we do lose the board, which is often not the case with faster decks. Usually in Arena, once you lose the board with a fast deck, usually the game is over. You don't make that switch into a re-switch. Usually there's just one switch and your opponent wins after stabilizing. But yeah, there is some more flexibility with this deck with comebacks. It looks like an okay deck. Honestly, it looks very average. I'm gonna guess that this deck will go 9 or 10. I think played perfectly, this deck will go 9 or 10. It is very slow though, and perhaps we want to keep our 4-drops in our opening hand. But yeah, that is Hunter Drafting Guide. Hope you enjoyed. I am streaming on twitch.tv/Ratsma, and you can find me there, or you can find me here on the YouTube channel once a week. See you guys later. Damn, it feels